Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena, it's blue-white control time with a twist. A card that I've been a little bit hard on in previous season that I'm not that all gung-ho about, but a card that we're going to be playing today nonetheless, because we do have to test our assumptions and we have to make content. So, of course, we still play the cards, even if we're a bit cynical about them. And the card of the day is FAITHBOUND Judge. So now that you've absorbed the deck list and seeped it into your pores, yes, I know CGB, sweepers, removal, counter spells, card draw, it's blue-white control. Yes, you're right, it is. But we've got a new win con. FAITHBOUND Judge is a 1-white, 4/4 flying vigilant defender. Spirit Soldier. It's a mythic too, so craft with care. At the beginning of your upkeep, if it has 2 or fewer judgy counters on it, put a judgment counter on it. As long as FAITHBOUND Judge has 3 or more judgy counters on it, it can attack as though it didn't have defender. So it turns into a 3-mana Serra Angel after it's been out there for 2 turns. It can start attacking, and of course it has vigilance, so that's nice. But the real sauce is the backside. As, isn't it always? Sinner's Judgment is an enchantment or a curse, and then you enchant a player. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a judgment counter on Sinner's Judgment. Then, if there are 3 or more judgy counters on it, enchanted player loses the game. If the judgy were put in the graveyard from anywhere, exile it. Okay, so the idea is control. Sinner's Judgment, the opponent, control for 2 more turns. It's like a modern approach to the Second Sun that can be interacted with. It can be bounced, it can be disenchanted. You know, bad things can happen to the Sinner's Judgment. But it is a win con. You can get it down and then protect it with counter spells or just stall on the board until you win. So bringing back Approach of the Second Sun in Aura Curse form, I think, is a lot worse than Approach of the Second Sun, but it's still something that blue-white players are going to try. So we're going to try it here today. And the rest of the deck is mainly just geared towards stalling forever. Most of my blue-white decks have taken a turn. They're very much Leer decks. They use Fading Hope, you know, those decks. They don't run hard counters. They rely on Divide by Zero and like Jwari Disruption for the most part, and casting Leer. You've seen those decks. I've played those decks a lot. This one, cut the Leerness. Forget that silly nonsense. And if you wanted to play the whole Breacher Horror, that's a whole different deck. Maybe I'll show that in the future. Also, not running Jacob. I think that Jacob fits really well in the Leer deck. It doesn't fit well in a deck with hard counters. Like, that actually intends to counter spells because you reveal those to the Jacob and it's very bad. So, we're going basically with a lot of old classics, some reprints and some things that are cancel light. Wash Away is a new card. 1 blue, counter target spell that wasn't cast from its owner's hand. 1 blue, counter target spell. Pretty good. Great against the Foretell decks and just to cancel everywhere else. Against the Foretell decks, that's the spot where, and I'm talking about Alrund's Epiphany turns, actually. So against Alrund's Epiphany turns decks, that's where casting Sinner's Judgment is a trap. That's where that's never really going to work. You're much better playing the Judge and hoping you get to attack like 5 times. It's not great, but Wash Away helps keep those Alrund's Epiphanies at bay while you set up and try to find other ways to win by attacking your opponent. Syncopate is a reprint. You can exile a card if you have more mana available than they do. Very good against a number of things in the format, especially Memory Deluge, but also really good against when Izzet Epiphany goes for their tourney stuff, so that's fun. And we also just need some kind of way to exile something in this deck. Just gotta have something. For Sunset Revelries, you probably expected, but Valorous Stance is a new card. 1 and a white, choose 1. Target creature gains indestructible until end of turn. Destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. You end up destroying things with toughness 4 or greater a good amount. A lot of smoldering eggs have to die in this format. But the indestructibility is not to be forgotten about, as you can protect your own FAITHBOUND Judge, both from the opponent's removal effects and from your own Doomscar. If you want to have a 4/4 Vigilance flyer after a Doomscar, Valorous Stance does team up and do the job. Moving on down the list, you see some cards you've seen before. Mending, Test of Talents, Jwaris, Divide by Zero, Memory Deluge, Doomscar, and then up here, all this stuff, creature, lands, mana. No, what's the card I love so much? Devastating Mastery. We don't want to blow up our own Judge or our own Sinner's Judgment. We actually intend to have a permanent and protect it. I did try the new Consuming Tide card that bounces everything but one permanent because I thought it might pair well. It did not. It did not work out very well for me. But this list actually did hold its own. We get into the spoiler section of the intro. So cover your eyes, you delicate flowers. All right. 5-3. 5-3, and we haven't lost a game yet where we've been on the play. So the deck is represented pretty well. The losses, I can tell you straight up, there's some of those that if I were trying to get real data, I would just delete because we mulliganed into Oblivion and had a lot of mana issues. One of them you're going to see. It's kind of hilarious, but it'll be fun. But the deck is performing well, and in my hour of playtime did get basically what I needed out of it. So it does require more testing. I still don't think that Faithbound Judge will be the card at the end of the day. I think that the Kraken the Hull Breacher Horror is a much better end game for any deck with blue. But as far as a blue-white deck and a thematic kind of judgy thing, this was a very fun one to play. So watch the game, decide if it's up your alley before crafting. If you've got a few mythics and you want another twist on blue-white, it's a very fun one. In today's games, you'll see mono-green graveyard hate and why it matters. You'll see blue-white on blue-white crime getting judged, of course, by me. You'll see why keeping a hand with just 2 Field of Ruins as the only lands is always the right play and will never be punished. And you'll see how to brutalize mono-white because every deck in the format should be able to. And you'll see why Sinner's Judgment doesn't care how much life your Lifegain deck gains. Let's dive in. Let the nonsense begin. That's a hand. Green. Green on the play is doable. Ranger class is a pretty annoying card to see there, but it'll do. All right, so we make blue, we say go. So they don't have some kind of a werewolf or something. If they choose to play around counter magic and just run this up, great. All right. Counter that troll. Man, do I love it when these come rolling in. They just fix up the mana so nice. So do you have the stamina to take another counter spell? Okay. We gotta get this Deluge cast. The cost of it is a Ranger class on the battlefield. There was already one. They do have diminishing-ish returns. I don't really need to mend my hand. It's pretty good. So we could take another land to make sure we get there, but how bad is mending, really? It's a good little insurance policy. Alright, set up the Doomscar for the future. Chill with a counterspell and a Field of Ruin open. See what the opponent does. They probably level another Ranger class, because most people do fear counters a lot. Hold up the counterspell till the end of the turn. Cemetery Prowler. That would exile my Memory Deluge, but the Doomscar would eat it. So I guess we let that happen. Alright. Doomscar, and there's a counterspell open. We could set it back, and then get it next turn. The opponent has 2 cards in hand, so Divide by Zero doesn't do that much, other than, I guess, grab Mascots. Then I have to hold up the mana anyway. Let's just counter it. Oh good, they don't have another play. Let's do this. Judge into the graveyard. We can cast it next turn. Do we discard the Revelry? No, let's discard the other Mending. They don't usually have a way to remove an enchantment in their deck. So if we put this on them, they're on the clock. They go for the... Come on. Come on. How obnoxious. I know, blue player calling something obnoxious. Guess I should have done this on their end step and played around it. I did see one already. I just didn't think you'd run this many of this Mythic. Because I don't think it's that good, but what do I know? What do I know? Nice. Kill it. Mending on mending, huh? They designed their deck to annoy me greatly. And I know, I'm a control player. Look, it is one of the best things to do against control. Annoy them back. Oh, you don't get to choose? It doesn't target. Why? That's even worse. I can't cast my Mending in response. That's so stupid. All right, I really hate this card now. I hated green before, now I really hate green. 2 cards, huh? Well, we do have the 7/7 to block this thing. We should probably hold it open. Do they know how Hall of the Storm Giants works? They do know. Nice. Is Syncopate good? There'll be a Chariot eventually I have to counter, right? I really do want to hold one of these, though. Like, I want to play one for next turn, but then they're just going to attack me with Pack Leader, and it's going to suck. Alright. Kill it. Die. Alright. There's only one Mending left, so I think we play this out tapped so it doesn't punish us, and we Wrath. So what did they take out? Mammoth? I guess we haven't seen any Mammoth. That's a card. Get wrecked. Can they cast from the top of their library? They can level up their class, and they're going to. Do we try to kill him? They're gonna start drawing stuff off the top of their deck. You'd want to counter one of those things, right? But I feel like we should try to kill him. If they just brick for 2 turns, they're in the Abyss, where we get to attack them every turn and they have to block. Okay. They has Wolf Token. That's nice. That's good. Is that good, guys? Is that a good card to hit off the top? You piece of trash. Yay! Is that a good card to hit off the top? Magic is so stupid sometimes. But we love it, right? Right? We love it. I totally love it right now. I love it. It's a troll. And a pack leader. Anything else? Alright, guys. We can Valorous Stance the troll. Then if we draw an untapped land, we can divide by 0 the pack leader, or just force it to block. Then they bring back the 4/4, they attack, they hit for 7. It's close. It's close. I think we go for the potential lethal. The priority stick can be the pack leader here. Doesn't have to mean anything. Tapped land. Alright. We take it down to the wire, baby. To the wire. Now stop hitting cards off the top that are good. Stop right now. That's not good, but next turn we will have the divide. They must have something to play here. Or not. Okay then. Spooky! It must be because I called something trash. That always triggers people. So clearly I am evil. It's got a doom scar, so you keep it. Because mono white must be made to suffer. I don't even know if we're playing mono white, but you have to start defeating mono white when you look at your opening hand. It's the only way. Huh? Okay. Well then. What a great time to draw 2 Doom Scars. And 2 Valorous Stance? This is great. No to the Celestis. That's a no. That's a no. Land, please. We really need one. We don't get one. They forced the initiative for 2 turns in a row. I want to hit this Field of Ruin. Too many bad things could happen, right? They could deluge here. Thank you. May as well add the mana. You never know if you're gonna have to fight a counter war in that little window. Our opponent foretells their Doomscar. Yeah, I see you. Might be an Epiphany, actually, but I like to say things that might not turn out to be accurate. I just like to predict stuff. It's fun. Most humans do. No. 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 Go ahead. Go ahead. You think you saw it coming. You didn't. Let's exile their Teferi. They already have another one in the graveyard, but who knows? Oh, What a draw. I do need some memory deluge or something, though. Oh, you know what I would love? Mending. This is the mending matchup. Okay, you're gonna learn something. Knock yourself out. Don't panic. They're just drawing some cards. Who really cares anyway? I am starting to worry about these missed land drops. It's starting to bug me a little. Our draw isn't exactly suited for the mirror. But we were able to get enough counterspells to stop their proactive plays. Now it's the staring match, and we can still draw out of it. A sacrificial lamb for the Field of Ruin. Yeah, this is definitely a spot where drawing Mending would be nice. Judge? Don't think we try to cast it, do we? I guess so. What's the worst that could happen? They have no counterspells. Did you see that? They have all reactive stuff that's not counterspells. They have no instants. Has gains indestructible. Care to try that again? I mean, part of me wants it in the graveyard. Part of me. I think the other part that says maybe I'll attack my opponent a few times with this could get annoying for them. Ha! Gains indestructible. What an expensive Vanquish you just played. All right, I'm going after that. We don't want the opponent sacrificing that to draw 2 cards, if we can help it. Yeah, they have flooded out a bit. They haven't drawn any card draw. So we'll try to keep that in check now. Does actual nothing. Another one. They had another one. Wazaa! Get in there. Save this fight for their turn. They took some damage. They're in big trouble now. Oh, they're gonna trigger that right now. Okay. Let's go for this before they get to see those cards. Fateful Absence. Sure. You got it. We'll drop the enchantment on them soon. Another Judge, huh? No land. Biblioplex. Okay, I don't know how they're going to get to a spot to use that. I have tried that deck in these shells. Okay. Another Doomscar. Well then. So do we cast out a graveyard? I don't think so. I think we need more mana first. Yeah, both decks got a little burst of cards net there. Now you're probably going to see them cooking a little bit more. I want to keep hitting my land drops, so I'm going to try to get sciences with this divide. I'm trying to set up this test of talents on something good. Wow. Okay. So be it. You got it. I'm going to judge you harshly. Yes, I know. I could cast the curse. I know. Patience, guys. Patience. I have a plan. I totally have a plan. You can see my plan, right? No? You will see it. You're gonna love it. It's the greatest plan I've ever had. The last basic. Pity. An undo inversion. Okay, that's... Now we know. They're trying to save that undo inversion. Okay, they have a lot of counter magic left. They have Devious Cover-Up. They have Test of Talents. 1 Jwari. 2 Devious Cover-Up, 1 Test of Talents is what we have to really think about here. And at least now they can't Devious a Saw It Coming. Make them respect our judge. Now, where are we in this game? What do we do here? We've got 3 mana. Let's just hold up the Wash Away. But I don't even think I plan to wash away this inversion, to be honest. Because once they use it... Crawling Barrens. Nah. Really? Alright, we gotta go find Field of Ruin here. Right away. None of those are Field of Ruin. Very disappointed right now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's try that again. None of those are Field of Ruin. We found where the Faithful Mendings are all hiding, though. Definitely located them. It's gonna get thick out here. Yeah, there's only 1 field down there. I told you, it was a great plan. I just don't know what happened. It's a heck of a hit. All right. Mending. Do something, Jon Snow. Yes. Field. Okay. Can probably get rid of this and this before we get rid of land. First Judgment. Do you think they drew a counterspell? They might have. Let's fight. If they power this up and hit us really hard this turn, how bad is it for us? Because we could sacrifice the field, nuke this first, but then we can't win any kind of a counterfight. So I think we take a big hit. I guess I have nothing else to do with 2 mana. I'm just playing around a Jwari Disruption, that's all. Alright, so from what I remember, they don't have another way out. We go to 14. Stinkapate. I know. Very mature joke. I've ascended beyond the need for your approval of my jokes. Okay, that was a lie. Oh wait, we couldn't have done the Field of Ruin play last turn because we had no basics left in our deck. See? Calculated. I knew it the whole time. Gigabrain. Okay. Sucks, but we gotta do it. If we just bounce the Test of Talents, they'll cast it again. If we bounce the Memory Deluge... Alright, if they hit the Jwari here, I'm gonna tilt a little. Celestis. If we hit the Memory Deluge, it saves the Memory Deluges in our graveyard. Alright, I'm gonna apply the pressure from different angles, baby. Scoops. Back to the wheel, hamster. No white mana. On the draw. Also, no Doomscar. No white mana on the draw has Doomscar. Oh no. I don't know what we're up against, but if it's a control deck, at least our hand will be better. And if it's an aggro deck, we just have to draw a lot of white mana quickly. Like that. Like that. Ta-da! Mono white at it again. Like that. Probably still gonna lose because we're on the draw. The opponent can lean on this advantage, and this Memory Deluge is way too slow. I wish I had gotten rid of the Test of Talents, but how could you know? You can never know. This format is that stupid. Yep, see, they're playing around the Doomscar. So, what do? We milk it for a bit? Or we blow it up? And then they play something else, and then they take this, and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It doesn't get better next turn, does it? Because we still can't hold anything up. Smart opponent. Smart opponent. Doing their Mythic rating proud. They should probably take Syncopate, but they might take Deluge. If you take the Syncopate, then you're not stuck on just the Spellbinder for pressure next turn. Unless they can double spell around it anyway. Like right now, it's several turns before Elite Spellbinder can kill me. So they need more pressure. If they just pass here because they know about the Syncopate, they're not adding that pressure. So they have to get through it. They have to play into it. There you go. Come on, deck. I needed those lands in the beginning. Now you've coughed up 4 of them. Oh god, I'm dead. Alright, we gotta draw Doomscar now. Sunset Revelry keeps us alive a little. The deck has drawn like 4 white sources in a row, hasn't it? That's all I've drawn. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I needed them. Now I don't need them anymore. Stop. Stop, deck. We're dead. We drew all land from our opener, and we died. Wow. I haven't had what's actually a keepable hand in a long time. So I've just started keeping these terrible mana hands. So we're going for our 3rd loss in a row this way, but I mulligan them and I just get the same like 2-lander again. I haven't had both colors in my opener in... This is the 3rd game in a row, and I've taken 5 mulligans in those games combined. So I'm just done. I'm off it. I'm keeping. I don't care anymore. The shuffler hates me. I will hate it right back. How about you, Alvar? Does the shuffler hate you? Alvar is good. Probably also at peace with the toxic shuffler. What more does Mono White need? They have turn 1 Usher the Fallen. To think they thought about their hand for even a minute. What a maniac. Yeah, they thought about this hand. Just consider that. Alright, do we judge? I think we judge. I'm a judgy person. We're Azorius, alright? Judging is what we came here to do, and we're gonna do it. My god, their hand is so perfect. Alright, Skyclave Apparition or Brutal Cathar, let's go. Their hand is flawless. Frickin' flawless. Alright. Nice. Our hand is not bad either, but this is so much. Yeah, probably not. Alright, I'll take that. Let's keep this around. The opponent still might play like one of those cards I mentioned, a Brutal Cathar or something to get rid of it. Just suck them into the Doomscar. Suck them in, little by little. That Field of Ruin solves our Faceless Haven problem. Into the Doomscar. Further, deeper, into the Doomscar. Okay. Into the Doomscar. Are we gonna do it? Are we gonna do it here? I don't think so. I'll take 4 more. And play another Revelry. Buying time, guys. That's what we do here. Valorous Stance. Nice. I can give this Indestructible and Doomscar. If they don't try to kill it. 2 cards in hand, so we're not gonna get the card out of this anytime soon. We've pulled them too deep into the Doomscar, so let's keep it up. We can't Valorous Stance this and Doomscar because of the Redain, but maybe they'll put a +1/+1 counter on the Redain. Here comes Haven. Where are you gonna put that counter? Oh, so many choices. It's so hard to find the right one. You know what I mean? Lol? Really? Really? Okay, that's a commitment. Let's go here. Let's go here. Go here. And go here. And like this. What are you gonna do? You got a Valorous Stance? Maybe. I guess they got bored. Or they saw the writing on the wall. I don't know. They had a great draw. Our deck did its thing, though. Pretty proud of our deck. No longer Defender, by the way. Indestructible. All right. They say good game. This kind? They opened the door. They invited me in. All right, they did get around the counter spell, so that's pretty good for them. But we'll see. They're probably just going to charge up everything and attack again. Yep. So how do we deal? Another Usher. Yeah, we're gonna need to find another Doomscar. We're in trouble. Yay. We did it. Won't have time to protect, though. Should we take another Deluge? We have all these counter spells that we can't cast and that do nothing. I'm going to take another Stance. It's a lot of damage. All right, draw some land? No? All right, opponent whiff, please. They've had an amazing draw against us. Like, no whiffs like Brutal Cathar or Portable Hole. But they scoop. Okay, we got them. All right, this time we have no white mana. Easy keep. Ah, Shuffler, what are you doing to me? All right, 1-drop creature, we lose. Game over, man. Doesn't matter if they suck. There's too many of them. They're like TIE fighters. Okay. The Lifegain is here. We knew it was coming. We knew it was only a matter of time. All right. Let me test a talent something right here. You know it's all creatures. You know we're not actually going to counter anything. You know that. Okay. Hopefully they go in for the Cleric class here. Our mono blue deck has got them right where we want them after all. No. $27. Look at them go. It's pretty funny because the last thing I did with this deck was get more white sources into it before I started filming. Can you tell? All right. Well, now we go get those sweet sciences. And we've got Valorous Stance for that Valk. But this Cleric class is going to be a huge problem when they find the land. They were so tilted they didn't even gain their 1 life. And now the battle back. Are we too far behind? Is it already over? Let's find out. If they tap that thing for the +1/+0 now when it's a 3/3, I'm gonna die. All right. Good old Valorous Stance. You've been holding me down for so long. All right, 2 sack white. So we can blow up the farmland, get another white source, cast the Faithful Mending, and also Revelry this turn. We might also just cast the Deluge. That Cleric class, I'm telling you, it's going to be a problem. Here it comes. So now every time they gain life, they get to put counters on things. We're going to have to sweep the board like 1,000,000 times. Huh. Oh, hi. That's nice. So is that. I know, still we still don't have double white to cast them. But we'll get there. We gotta give them an opportunity to play some more nerds. Look at all the triggers they get if they put a creature on the battlefield. But yeah, we're going to need to sweep the board a lot to stay in this game. Oh, they can bring out the Valk. Ooh. They're not gonna, though. They're gonna go for Lizette. Oh, that's so much damage. But I think we can survive it. It's so much. And it gives trample. Holy crap. Holy crap. Ooh. My face. I can't feel my face when I'm with you. But I love it. Strategically doing this now. If they have another 1-drop, I want them to play it post-combat to get caught in the Doomscar. What is it, like turn 7? I think we missed a land drop or 2 in there, right? And now, our deck has double white mana. It is truly unstoppable. All right, so we want to have a counter next turn. That's a good thing. They bring back Valk. We blow up everything again. So we want to keep this. Do we want to keep this? Do we want to keep this? I think we just want to bring this back from the graveyard. Trample, I know, but may as well absorb that damage. Whoosh. I don't know exactly what I'm countering, since the opponent will probably bring something back with the class. So maybe it would have been better to foretell there. If we know we're not going to get a counterspell to actually happen. Let's see what they do. I guess we can still wash away one of these. So strong. Do we counter that? Nah, Doomscar fodder. Easy. 48 life. This is no problem, guys. This is Tuesday for me. This is fine. This is totally fine. Should have enough white now. Doomscar! How many will it take? As many as it requires. That's how many. They open the door. You got 3 turns. Make it count. Let's hold this. Discard it to mending, potentially. It doesn't matter what life you're at when you face the sinner's judgment. Pretty funny. Thematically. The clerics are facing the sinner's judgment. Somebody out there. CDB, there's nothing funny about that. I don't know. Is there? All right, let's start flashing back Deluges instead of Mendings. Mendings gain life, but I think if I get the right cards, I can't lose. So, Deluge, baby, Deluge. I got that foretold card. It is Starnheim Unfrickin' Leashed. All right, divided by 0. They can't foretell it again right now. So that's pretty helpful. Then we go get Teachings. But we might just be mending it away. Fortifying Drought. How much hits is this? Many, many hits. That is a big hit. The stance. Tell me, what is your stance on the stance? Hell yeah. I mean, this could hit something. It's possible. I'm feeling judgy. I love how it just keeps these Field of Ruins open when the opponent has no non-basics. But we needed all the white mana to make our plays that turn, unless, well, actually, if we go back to the Teachings, maybe we could have done things differently. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, they up it. Okay. So disrupting that doesn't do any good, but the opponent loses on upkeep. Doesn't matter how many life you have. It does not matter to the judges. And we are back for what you thought might be the forgotten post-game wraps for the few, the proud, those who stayed till the end. And today's post-game wrap is going to be a talk about how cards lead you in different directions. Invariably, when I post a deck list like this, I get a lot of comments. Why not this card? Why not that card? Many times, there are terrible cards being suggested, but also many, many times, because there's so many of you smart and capable gamers out there watching this channel, the cards are good. So why don't we play your card in a deck, the card that you're wondering about? I played it last week in a deck with the same colors. Why not in this deck? And the example I used in the intro was Leer. Leer is a really good example of this. Leer says spells can't be countered. Each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard has flashback. The flashback cost is equal to that card's mana cost. I showed you in the last format how you can use a Fading Hope to bounce your Leer and cast your cheap counter from the graveyards to still get the counter effect. So it's not mutually exclusive or completely exclusive that Leer can't be played with counterspells. But you don't want to play Leer with too many counterspells, because if you play Leer with too many counterspells, you're going to get in spots where you put this on the board, you have 2 or 3 counterspells in your hand, they don't do anything, you cast your cards from the graveyard, you run out of stuff, and the opponent gets to do what they do. It's not great. So Leer is a card that wants a certain type of deck. Combine that with something else. This is Jacob, who we just played recently, and I've been playing in a ton of my decks. Jacob Hawken Inspector. Hawken's Insight exiles at the beginning of your upkeep, and it lets you play one of those spells for free this turn. For free this turn. When you combine this card with counterspells, well, now you run the risk of exiling a card from the top of your library that's a counterspell that's basically a whiff on the 6 mana like setup play that you took a lot of time and effort to execute. So you really now don't want to run Jacob with counterspells, because every counterspell you exile with Hawken's Insight is potentially a total dud. They're nice, they do ensure that you can resolve other spells, but oftentimes it just goes as a waste. And another card that when Hawken's Insight hits it is a complete waste is Memory Deluge, because Memory Deluge lets you look at cards and select them equal to the amount of mana you paid. If you cast a Memory Deluge for free, you get nothing. Nothing. It's very, very bad. So now you're looking at Leer and Jacob. They both want to be played in decks without counterspells. How do you play counterspells without playing counterspells? Divide by 0 can target things on the battlefield and on the stack. That makes it perfect to play with cards like Leer and cards like Hawken's Insight. What else can hit things on the stack and be played proactively and is really good to play for free? It's Hull Breacher Horror. So Hull Breacher Horror goes in that deck. And So all of this goes to say you can play a blue-white deck with no counter spells that still interacts on the stack, and it's a total departure from this deck. It really is. Now, you could put a Leer, like one Leer in this deck, and it would be okay. Because in the end game, you have Divide by Zeros, and it's nice. And you have Valor's Stance to protect it. That's nice, too. You could put one Hull Breacher Horror in this and use it as an endgame. That is totally acceptable as well. But each of these cards, aside from sprinkling in as like a one of to get a little bit of this when you need it, if you want to expand into it and run 2 or 3 Leers, 2 or 3 Horrors, you start to stack up these issues in your deck. See how none of those cards matter to Faithbound Judge? Like, the Hullbreaker Horror competes with Sinner's Judgment in the curve for your 7-drop spot. Leer and Faithbound Judge, they don't really do anything together. And now you're just playing a good Mythic to play with another good Mythic to play with another good, I think it's a rare, Hull Breacher Horror. And your cards aren't working together regularly. So diluting your synergy, like you kind of have to choose what your win con is, and you want to build synergy around it. It's okay to have 1 or 2 outliers, but as far as the rabbit hole that deck building creates for you, you don't want too many cards to not play with the win con you're actually trying to use. On the other hand, a card like Faithful Mending lets me discard my Judge directly to the graveyard so I can cast the Sinner's Judgment side without risking the Faithbound Judge to some kind of exile effect. So Faithful Mending works really good in the deck because you can sneak it onto the battlefield against, say, Mono Black, who would want to Necrotic Fumes the Judge, but has no way to get rid of the Judgment. So also hard counters because you're just trying to play something early and protect it, or get something on the board and protect it. So we don't want, we just kind of play around. We don't need Leer or things like that. Valorous Stance, right, can protect your creature, but it can also remove stuff. Synergy. Pick your lane and don't play cards because they're just flashy or good. A sprinkling here or there is fine, but don't play Mythics just to play more Mythics with each other, especially when they have competing goals. It will really help your deck building and get you some synergistic builds. Hopefully that explains how, like, this Faithbound Judge blue-white deck is completely different, and I'll go ahead and give you guys who stayed till the end, because you guys are the mega fans. Completely different from a deck I'm going to play in the near future, Azorius Leer, which, if you look at this deck, has so few cards in common with the last one, and so many different cards that you wonder, are they even in the same colors? But they are. So I look forward to playing this one for you in the future, and I hope that when you're building decks, you examine the roads that individual cards take you down, what they're good with, what they're bad with, and keep your decks in perfect harmony. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I'll see you in the next video. You're cool.